I feel like the focus is starting to shift off of me. Maybe in editing you'll fix it.
My question is for Meghan. Meghan, besides holder of briefcase 24 on Deal or No Deal, what do you think your most impactful role was?
Hey, thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I kind of took you out of your natural habitat. I'm surprised you're still breathing.
Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and
I
I
was totally like, you should write a book because your family's like stupid and then so are like journalists.
You really need to stop thinking in terms of palaces. We have to get jobs. I have to start auditioning again.
Oh yes, you were on the very famous show Suits. More popular in the States than even Friends, you told us.
South Park made fun of Meghan Markle again, but this time they didn't hold back at all. The episode didn't try to be careful or soft. It jumped right into the drama, mixing quiet jokes with really strong insults that made people watching say, wow. Every part of the show seemed like it was meant to tease her. How she talks, how she acts in public, and all the confusing things she's done since she left the royal family. What's smart is how South Park made it both really crazy and still kind of believable at the same time, making people wonder if they were watching a joke or something real. And just when it seemed like the joke was over, they made it even more harsh with another stronger joke. But this wasn't only to make people laugh, they were clearly trying to send a message. And the way they went after how she looks to the public was just the start. The bigger jokes came after, and those ones felt even more personal.
We want privacy! We want privacy!
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I kind of took you out of your natural habitat. I'm surprised you're still breathing.
Here's where things really went bad for Meghan, because South Park focused hard on how she's always trying to look perfect in public and totally ripped it apart. The episode makes fun of how everything she does feels planned, like she's living through a fancy PR filter instead of being real. They joke about her perfectly posed pictures, how she pauses on purpose during interviews to seem deep, and even the way she talks like she's practicing every word when sharing private things. It's a harsh way to show that even though Meghan keeps saying she wants to be real, everything about her seems super controlled and planned. South Park doesn't hold back at all and shows her like someone who cares more about looks and image than being honest. The show hints that her whole personality isn't just cleaned up, it's made to look perfect, so much that even when she tries to be emotional, it feels like a commercial. It's weird, funny, and almost too real at the same time. But that wasn't the end. The next part of the episode dragged her big public show right through the dirt without holding anything back.
Several months now since our beloved queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the prince and his wife.
It's so nice to have you back in London, Meghan. I've missed our little lunches.
We've never had lunch together, Kate.
Well, we must continue the tradition.
Get ready, because things get even crazier when South Park brings back Meghan and Harry's famous We Want Privacy World Tour. And this time, the jokes are even meaner. The two are shown going all over the world, holding signs, asking for privacy, while somehow staying in front of every camera they can find. It's super funny because it doesn't make any sense. South Park uses that silly mix-up perfectly, showing how fake the whole thing feels. Meghan's over-the-top anger in every scene looks more like she wants people to watch her, not leave her alone, which makes her seem like the one causing all the drama. The jokes break apart the whole poor me story and suggest that maybe they don't really want to be left alone. They just want attention, but only when they can control it. Every airport they show up in, every stage they stand on, every talk show they go to feels like another part of their never-ending show. The episode boldly brings up the question everyone's been asking. Are they really being picked on? Or are they just using that idea to stay famous? And the answer becomes even more obvious in what comes next.
Hi, I'm Meghan Markle.
And I'm Harry. Harry.
And we're royally screwed. Andy, you gotta be kidding me. I've brought plenty of conflict to the show.
I'm sorry, Meghan. It's just not working out. All you talked about all season was your line of ketchup.
Listen to this wild twist. South Park didn't just make fun of Meghan's public appearances, they went after her Netflix docuseries too. You know, the one that was supposed to be super deep and emotional, showing the real story of Meghan and Harry? Well, South Park rips that fancy PR project apart like a chainsaw cutting through paper. They joke about the super serious camera shots, the slow-motion stairwalking, and those long speeches that felt more like movie scripts than real life. The show makes fun of how every part seemed planned. Every tear showed up right on time. Like the whole thing was more about getting views than telling the truth. It's a hard hit to the show Meghan once hoped would change how people see her. Instead, South Park turns the whole thing upside down, hinting that the series was more like acting than honesty. The message couldn't be clearer. If you're gonna share your truth, it should actually feel true. And what happens next was even more shocking because it went straight for the thing Meghan says is her biggest purpose.
Start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, When?
I'm sorry, I'm just really stressed. We're completely out of money.
Maybe it's time we dip into your fortune from Suits.
There is no fortune from Suits.
Things got even messier after that because South Park didn't ignore Meghan's activism either. They went straight at how she supports causes and made it seem like it's not really about helping people, but more about getting attention. In the episode, Meghan's charity work is shown as super fancy, over-the-top events with red carpets and fancy backgrounds. The message is sharp and clear. Her activism looks more like a photo shoot than something from the heart. South Park made her seem like someone who only shows up when the cameras are rolling, says something perfectly planned, then disappears until the next trendy cause pops up. It's a harsh picture of someone trying to look good instead of do good. And while it's funny, it also makes people watching wonder if she really cares, or if it's just for show. Is she trying to make a change, or just trying to get applause? But just when you thought South Park was finally done making fun of her public image, they hit with a joke so ironic, it really stung. Now, here's a big twist. South Park takes one of its sharpest shots by joking about how Meghan and Harry just can't seem to let go of their royal titles. And the irony, it's almost too perfect. In the episode, the two of them are shown holding on tightly to their Duke and Duchess names, while also bashing the very royal family that gave those names to them. It's really funny, but also kind of uncomfortable because it looks a lot like real life. South Park makes it over the top, showing Meghan yelling to be called royalty while also ranting about how unfair the royal system is. It's a huge contradiction. You can't complain about something and then still use it to your benefit. The episode really pushes this point with silly product ads, dramatic name-dropping, and scenes that basically yell, "You can't have it both ways." It's super awkward and totally messes with the image they've been trying to sell as independent. But South Park wasn't done being ironic, because next, they made fun of her newest business idea and it turned into a full-on circus.
So listen to this secret no one's really talking about. South Park turned Meghan's rumored $20 million lifestyle brand into a total joke. And it was harsh. They made a funny version of her selling really expensive jam, fancy-smelling stuff like lavender, and fake girl power sayings, all pretending it was about helping women feel strong. The jokes were sharp, showing the whole business as a silly way to make Meghan seem friendly and normal, even though she's still living a super rich life. South Park didn't hold back. They showed people confused about whether they were buying jam or getting some kind of political speech. It was like a full attack on how Meghan tries to seem regular while selling stuff that screams fancy. Even the made-up product names were ridiculous, quietly hinting that her brand might be more about looks than anything real. The joke wasn't really about jam, it was about pretending to be authentic. And South Park smashed that idea like a hammer. But they still weren't done, because next they turned their jokes toward her husband, and it got even weirder. Yep, you heard that right. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get more awkward, South Park focused on Prince Harry. But they made sure you knew Meghan was still the main character. Harry got made fun of too, shown as a confused guy just tagging along, easy to influence and kind of clueless. But the real spotlight stayed on Meghan, who was shown as the one in charge of everything, the one behind the media madness. The show made her look like the boss of their whole story, with Harry just following her lead while she gave big speeches and acted dramatic. It was like South Park was saying, yeah, Harry's part of the chaos, but come on, Meghan's the one running the show. The whole thing was funny, but also kind of brutal. It made it seem like behind every carefully posed photo, strange interview, and odd business plan, Meghan was calling all the shots. And not everyone's buying what she's selling. But the jokes didn't stop there. Next, South Park dug even deeper into who Meghan really is behind all the fame.
So, you don't like journalists, right? That's what you said. But now you wrote a book about the royal family. So, isn't that journalism? Dad, can I borrow money for a taxi? Oh, look, Grandma's face is on the money. I never saw that before. Yeah, it gets even crazier. South Park didn't just go after what Meghan does. They went after who she is. In a sneaky but super mean way, the show asked if anything about Meghan's public image is actually real. They made her look like someone playing pretend, switching between being an activist, a victim, a royal, or a social media star, depending on what helps her most at the time. Every face she makes, every word she says, even her clothes, all shown like they're part of a carefully planned act. This wasn't just teasing. It was a full-on joke about Meghan not really having a true self. The idea was that maybe Meghan is just a big walking ad, built out of quotes, fashion, and internet trends. South Park made people wonder if they've ever seen the real her. It was sharp, funny, and hit deep. But wait, because the next part showed what she did after the episode aired, or maybe more importantly, what she didn't do. We just want to live normal lives. This attention is too much. But sir, your wife has her own TV show, hangs out with famous people, and is in fashion magazines, right? And by the way, forget Canada. We're leaving. Let's find somewhere peaceful and quiet to be normal people. Come on, wife. Picture this whole mess with me. South Park just aired one of the harshest parodies of Meghan Markle ever. And everyone waited to see what she'd say. But instead of responding or getting angry, Meghan said nothing. And that silence, it actually said a lot. After the last South Park episode, there were rumors that Meghan was really upset and thinking about suing or hiring a PR team. But this time, the quiet felt like it was planned, like her team was working behind the scenes to figure out how to fix things without making it worse. The show even made fun of that idea by showing Meghan as nervous, shaky, and super worried about her image. It made people wonder, is she ignoring the jokes to act chill? Or is she really upset because the jokes were too close to the truth? Either way, staying quiet only made people talk more. And while Meghan stayed silent, Hollywood made things even weirder. We can be who we said we wanted to be. No more stressing about how we look or what people think. What matters is what's inside. Okay, but here's where things got cold. Meghan stayed quiet, and so did Hollywood. And that silence? It was loud. South Park totally made fun of one of the most protected celebrities in the world, and not one famous person spoke up for her. No posts, no tweets, no angry stories online, just silence. It was like all the celebrities who once praised her speeches and called her strong suddenly decided, yeah, maybe we shouldn't say anything this time. South Park even made fun of that in the episode by putting fake, clueless people around Meghan's character, kind of like they were saying that in Hollywood, people only support you when it's easy. When things get tough, those friends disappear. The silence wasn't just awkward. It meant something. Are the stars tired of the drama? Or are they just waiting for the next big thing to support? Either way, the message was loud and clear. Meghan might be losing her celebrity fans, but the internet crowd,
They had plenty to say. So all you have to do is post a picture of yourself using my ketchup. That would help a lot. We'll think about it. Well, it's an apartment. So yeah, an apartment palace. I know, lots of little palaces in one big palace. And this wild story didn't stop there. While the Hollywood stars stayed quiet, the internet went totally wild. The moment the episode came out, social media blew up. And let's just say, people weren't being nice. Memes were everywhere. Clips from South Park's roast went viral fast, and people didn't hold back. Some said it was the most real version of Meghan they'd ever seen. Others joked that the writers didn't even need to change anything to make it funny. People tagged their friends, made jokes about the jokes, and picked apart every scene with excitement. This wasn't just some funny cartoon. It turned into a giant internet takedown. Fans seemed tired of the constant brand building, the victim stories, and the big difference between what Meghan says and what she does. And South Park gave them the perfect way to let it all out. What started as a comedy show turned into a big question about whether people still believe in her story. But even that wasn't the end, because next, her whole media empire started to wobble. Thanks. Okay, see ya. Oh, can you grab some milk? Why are you carrying that thing again, Harry? You know, in case someone wants a massage. I'll do a few house calls. And yeah, things kept getting worse. Because after the episode aired, people started looking at the real thing that keeps Meghan's brand going. Her image, the fancy deals, her podcast dreams, the media partnerships. Suddenly, they all seemed shaky. South Park didn't just embarrass her. They showed how her whole image might be standing on a weak foundation. The show joked about her not being real, made fun of her stories, and laughed at her business plans so hard it left a mark. And when people laugh like that, big companies start to worry. Some fans are now wondering if Meghan's messages about empowerment are just shiny packaging. There are already whispers that her team is in panic mode, maybe even trying to come up with a new version of her image to save what's left. But maybe it's too late. South Park didn't just make fun of her. They poked holes in the whole system. And when your fame is built on how people see you, even a cartoon can do serious damage. But let's finish this with one last hit. Who's that? That's your nephew Archie. No way! You're kidding! You've met him like 1,000 times. So here's the truth. South Park didn't just joke about Meghan Markle. They slowly tore apart the castle she built around her image, one brick at a time. And they did it while making people laugh. What started as a silly cartoon turned into a serious reality check, showing the confusing parts, the overdone moments, and the cracks in the way she presents herself to the world. The hardest part? They didn't even have to make much up. The power of the episode was how close it stayed to what's real. It made people laugh, yes, but it also made them take a second look. Whether you love Meghan or can't stand all the drama around her, one thing's for sure. South Park hit a nerve, and that nerve is still buzzing. If this roast messed with her brand already, just imagine what will happen if they decide to do another one.